Okay, so today we will start chapter 7, which is straight line graphs. So you will be looking at 4 sub-chapters in this chapter. 7.1 will be constructing straight line graphs where you have to draw your y equals to mx plus c line. 7.2 will be linear modeling where we will have worded problems and you have to identify your m and c from the question. 7.3 and 7.4 we will do it in the next lesson. Alright, so let's look at your learning outcome. You need to sketch and plot straight line graph. You need to know the difference between sketching and plotting, which I'll go through later. You need to find intercept points, meaning when two lines are intersecting, what is that point? What is that intercept point? And what is going on at that point? Alright, and you need to understand the application of graphs, which will be actually 7.4, break-even analysis. Alright. Straight line graphing technique. So let's look at this. You'll be looking at y equals to mx plus c line. Y equals to mx plus c line. So m is your gradient, c is your y-intercept. How do you find your gradient? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So any line which slopes downwards has a negative gradient. Any line which slopes upwards has a positive gradient. All right. So let's look at the difference between sketching and drawing or plotting. So when you're sketching a graph, you don't need a graph paper, meaning they do not give you graph grids. You just need 2 points, draw the straight line and join the 2 points. For plotting, it has to have a scale. They will give you the graph grids, the graph lines. You must draw and label everything. Same goes to sketching. You have to label everything, all right? But where else for drawing, it must be accurate. Okay, so now let's draw the graph for the example 1. Okay, example 1 is in your manual. Okay, draw the graph of the linear equation y equals to 6 minus 2x. All right. Okay, page 144. Draw the graph of the linear equation y equals to 6 minus 2x. So number 1, what do you know from here? Negative gradient, line must slope down. And your y-intercept is 6. So now you need to draw. They've given you the graph lines. So you build a table, maybe a couple of points. But actually, you don't need so many points. In my opinion, you only need 3 points. One will be your x. Can you see when x equals to 0, y is 6, right? Or y-intercept. Y-intercept is the point that goes through the y-axis. This is y-intercept. Every time any line goes through the y, your x is 0. This is the point. And when any line goes through the x-axis, it's called the x-intercept. Y is 0. Okay, y is 0, so your x is equal to 3. All right, so let's take a look at this. You only need 3 points. You don't need to come up with such a big table. Your first point, when x is 0, what is y? When x is 0, you substitute inside here, my y is 6. You got 1 point. When y is 0, what is x? So when you put y equals to 0 equals to 6 minus 2x, you will get x is 3. Plot 3. Find any point in between. For instance, when x is equal to 2, what is y? Okay, you got 3 points. You just connect the line. And it must have a scale. It must be accurate because you are drawing it on grids, not sketching or plotting. All right. Next point, sketch the linear equation y equals to 2x plus 4. This is just sketching. 2 points is enough. Your x-intercept and y-intercept, plot the 2 points, draw the line. You're pretty much done. When x is 0, y is 4. So when x is 0, y is 4, this is my y-intercept. When y is 0, x is negative 2, that is your x-intercept. Plot the point, label the axis, and label the line. You're pretty much sorted. Okay, sketch the linear line 3y plus 4x equals to 12. If you cannot see it, you can jumble it up and change it to y equals to mx plus c. You will get y equals to negative 4 over 3x plus 4. Okay, or if I were you, I would just leave it this way because you want to find the 2 points, right? When x is 0, y is 3y equals to 12, y is 4. When y is 0, 4x equals to 12, x will be 3. Easier to find your x and y intercept. Plot the points, draw it. You don't need to have all the scale because this is just sketching. So just draw the line. It has a scale here because I'm using Excel. You don't need to have a scale, just plot it and label your graph, label your axis, and you're pretty much done. So let's look at exercise 7.1. All right, they've given you 2 points. They want you to find the straight line equation. All right, so the gradient. So the first point that you do is you find the gradient. You will get 2. Then you can use this equation, y minus y1 equals to m bracket x minus x1. Okay, so you've got a gradient that is 2 already, right, from the 2 points just now. So y minus 5, then you can substitute any point inside here. So I'm using the point 25 and I'm plugging it in here. Y minus 5 is equals to 2 bracket x minus 2. That will be equals to y. When you jumble up, y equals to 2x plus 1. So one way of doing it is this way. Another way is you find the gradient. The second part of it is you substitute 1 point into the equation to find the y-intercept, and then you come up with that. But this way is actually faster. It's just that you need to remember the formula. Y minus y1 equals to m bracket x minus x1. So y minus 5. Y minus 5, I'm using the 2, 5 coordinate, which is 5 equals to, my gradient is 2 from here, bracket x minus 2, x1 is 2. You rearrange the equation, you will get y equals to 2x plus 1. Number 2 is quite direct. They've asked you to find the x and y intercept and just sketch. No need scale, all right? Just sketch, all right? Okay, number 3, sketch this line. So if you can't see it, change it to y equals to negative 6 over 3x, which is negative 2x, plus 5, all right? Change it to that. Then you just sketch the line. It's just a sketch. You don't need to actually show me your working. Show me your scale and working or so on. You can label with this if you can see it. Because you only need to find when x is 0, what is y? Y is 0, what is x? That's all I want you to come up with. Okay? Okay, number 4, they have asked you to find the gradient. Okay, so you rearrange the equation. You find y equals to 3x minus 4. Gradient is 3. Y-intercept is negative 4. Number 5, they've given you 2 points, 4, 2 and negative 3, 2. So the gradient, when you find this, the gradient will be 0. So if the gradient is 0, it will be y equals to, if mx, right? So 0x plus c. So in other words, there is no gradient. So it will be y equals to 2. Okay, the last one, m equals to negative 4. So basically, when you substitute 1 point in, you will realize the c or your y-intercept is 0. Therefore, you are left with the equation y equals to negative 4x. Okay, so let's move on to the next part, which is linear modeling. All right. Okay. So now linear modeling, there will be 2 variables forming the linear line. Linear modeling is basically your y equals to mx plus c line. Okay, the rate is your gradient. The fixed constant is your y-intercept. The independent variable is x and the dependent variable is y. Why is it like that? Because any change in x will affect y. So y depends on x. All right, so let's take a look at this. You need to identify the dependent variable. In your equation, if there is cost, cost is always the dependent variable. Cost is always dependent. Whatever else is independent. Your rate is m, your fixed constant is c, then you form the linear equation. All right? So let's look at an example that you see here. Alvin is planning for his wedding and he has found that the cost depends on the number of guests. In your exam, they won't tell you this. You must know this. Cost is always dependent. Okay, for 20 guests, he's being charged 3,300. 40 guests, 5,100. So in this question now, you have 2 coordinates. All right, 20, 3,300. Why did I put it this way? Cost is dependent, so cost must be y. N must be x, so x, y. X, y. Cost must be y. Okay, so they have asked you to come up with the basically express the cost of the reception C in terms of the number of guests invited. So they want you to find the linear model. They want you to find the y equals to mx plus c line. So first point, Find the gradient. You can use the two methods, the methods that I showed you earlier using that formula, or this way. Find the gradient, you've got the gradient 9, right? So y equals to 90x plus c. Then you substitute any one point, which is this. Okay, let's say I'm using this. 3,300 equals to 90 times 20 plus c. C is 1,500. So my linear model is C equals to 90n plus 1,500. If he plans to invite 120 guests, how much would he need to pay? So now they're saying n is 120, what is cost? So just substitute the 120 into the equation. Your cost will be 12,300. Okay? All right. He has a budget of 10,000. So if I were you, I would rather just use equation here. It is faster. So now they are saying the cost is 10,000. What is the n? The cost is 10,000. What is the n? So 90n plus 1,500 is C. So C is 10,000. You're just going to find for me n. So you will get 94.44. If you round off accordingly, it should be 94. All right. But now in this case, let's say even though you get 94.99, you will still bring it to 94. Why? He can only invite 94 guests because he only has a budget of 10,000. All right. Okay, let's look at the next one. Question 7.2. All right. All right. For home use, Western Water charges 80 cents per kiloliter of water and a $9 service charge per household for the supply of water. Now, C represents cost and K represents the number of kiloliters. State with reason which variable is independent and dependent. What did I tell you? Dependent is always cost. So cost is dependent, K is independent. You can just write dependent C, independent K. So the reason will be as K increase, C increase. So develop a linear model. When you see linear model, they want your y equals to mx plus c line for 3 months. So c equals to 0.8k plus 9 times 3. Why 9 times 3? 9 is per month. So 9 is my fixed cost. If I don't use any water, I still must pay $9. 80 cents is my rate, which is my gradient. You look here, it's 80 cents. So make sure you put 0.8k plus 27. Next one, Sam's water meter reveals that he has used 42 kiloliters of water in 3 months. How much will he have to pay? 42 kiloliters of water means K is equal to 42. So you just substitute 42 into this equation. All right. So the standard formula is supposed to be 9, but now it's for 3 months. So it's 27 as per earlier. You'll get $60.60. Now he moves into a share accommodation in the next 3 months, 3 months again. So my fixed costs will still be 27. Find the amount they each have to pay if they shared the bill equally. Now the water consumption doubled, meaning just now it was 42. Now it doubled, it will be 84. So you put 84 into the equation, you'll get 94.2. Shared the bill equally, you divide it by 2, you get $47.10. Sam's friend had to pay $50.60. Now in this question, they did not state 3 months. So you use 1 month. So now they are saying cost is 50.60. So 50.60 equals to 0.8k plus 9. You need to solve to find 9. To find K. So K will be 52 kiloliters of water. Sketch a graph showing the relationship between the cost and the number of kiloliters of water used. This is just sketching. Please make it easy. I don't want to see you drawing scale or whatever. First of all, this is cost. Cost cannot be negative. Kiloliters of water cannot be negative. So please don't draw this part of the curve. No need. Don't waste time. You draw your axis, C, K. Gradient positive, line go up. 9. 9 is your y-intercept. 9 here, your line go up. That's it. 3 marks for this in the exam, all right? Question 2. An appliance repair company charges 40 to inspect and 30 per hour to carry out repairs. So what is your linear equation in terms of C and H? 30 per hour, right? So C is equal to 30H plus 40. All right, state with reason which variable is independent and dependent. I already told you cost is always dependent. H is always independent. You don't need to write so much. You can just straight away write C dependent, H independent. When H increase, C will increase. You can use the arrows, no problem. What is the fixed cost? $40. Because although he doesn't repair, although he comes, he inspect, there's no repair, you still have to pay 40 because it's the fixed cost. Describe the meaning of the gradient. The meaning of the gradient, standard answer, it is rate. I want you to always use that. The gradient is rate. Find the cost of a 2.5 hour job. Just substitute 2.5 into the equation. You will get 115. If Peter paid 167.5, how long did the repairs take? So you substitute 167 in cost and find H. After you find the linear model, right, they either will give you one of the variable. Just plug it in and solve the equation. Sketch the graph of cost against. Again, I told you now cost or hours cannot be negative. So C equals to 30H plus 40. 40, line go up. Label, and that's it, you are done. All right, question 3. So let's look at it here. They have given you the cost. Okay, now this is a table. In this table, what you have is actually 3 coordinates: 3, 700, 5, 1000, 7, 1300. Why have I put it in this way? Because cost is always dependent. State with reason which variable is independent and which is dependent. C is dependent, N is independent. All right, find a relationship. When they ask you relationship, they want your y equals to mx plus c line. How to find that? First, you find your gradient. Any 2 points, you want to use this and this, you want to use first and third, second and third, is up to you. Your answer will be the same. Find your gradient, then substitute 1 point and find your y-intercept. Using the linear model, predict the cost for a 4-hour show. So now, inside here, you just substitute 4 hours. For 9 hours, inside here, you just substitute 9. You should get 1,600. Mitch wanted to hire the band for his birthday party, but he only has $650. Round to the nearest half an hour. So you take 650 equal to 150, n plus 250, you find n. You will get 2.67 hours. So nearest half an hour will be 2.5 hours. You cannot put it 3 hours because 3 hours you got not enough money. Okay, sketch the graph. Again same, 250, line go up, but here it will stop at 10 because they only want from 0 to 10. Understand? It stops at 10. Okay, then you just label this point and that's it. Okay, let's look at question 4. Dylan owns a printing business and his equipment only allows for the same amount of paper to be used each day. In July, he worked to capacity of every day of the week and his stock of paper by the ream is shown. So meaning they're saying at the start he has 1,600 reams of paper, at the end it reduces. So when you look at this graph, you know your gradient is negative. So the number of reams he had in stock at the start of July, this is the start of July, it will be 1,600. The number of reams he uses every day, there is 2 ways to do it. You can straight away find the gradient. The number of reams he uses is the rate that the reams is finishing every day. Rate is gradient. So either you can do it this way as per my slide, or you straight away find your gradient. Take 2 points that are very obvious, find the gradient. I would take 1,600, that'd be the easiest. And 2,600 because it's exact points. Find the gradient, you will get 50. Negative 50 of course, but you can say daily 50 reams finish. Okay. A linear relationship is your y equals to mx plus c line. So you've already got your gradient, which is negative 50. All right, then you can substitute 1 point in to find your y-intercept, which is 1,600. Okay. How many reams he has left at the end of the month? How would you know? July has 31 days. So you just take 31 and substitute inside here. Okay? Take 31, you substitute, you'll get 50 reams. All right? When Dylan has 300 remaining, he usually reorders another 1,500. But in July, he forgot on what date he should have reordered. So at 300, he reorders, right? So you find 300, when R is equals to 300, what day is that? So R equals to 300 is negative 50, N plus 1,600. Your N will be 26. So he should have reordered on the 26th of July. Okay, let's look at question 5. Jamie is a successful real estate agent and is calculated a fixed retainer added to a commission. He earns 500 per fortnight plus 1% of total sales. 500 is his fixed salary. So whether he makes a sale or he doesn't make a sale, he will still earn 500 plus 1% of the total sales. All right. So find Jamie's salary for a fortnight if he sells property to the value of 400,000. All right. So 400,000 times 1% plus 500. So you will get 4,500. 1 million times 1% plus 500. You will get 10,500. State with a reason which variable is independent and which is dependent. So the salary is dependent and the value of sales is independent. So find a linear relationship. Your y equals to mx plus c line. S will be 0.01V, 1% for every sale, plus 500 of his fixed salary. Sketch the curve in this case. Sketch the curve only. So just sketch. You don't need all this scale here. 500, line go up. Okay? And label your axis. That's it. Done. Part E, let's make it easy. Interpret the meaning of the S-intercept. S-intercept is his fixed salary. Gradient is rate. Try to follow this. This is a teaching slide. You can follow this if you want, but you don't need to write so much. S is fixed salary and gradient is rate. Enough. You will get your marks. Jamie has found that he requires a salary of at least 3,000. What value must he sell? So now they're telling you S is 3,000. Find V. So you will, when you substitute into the equation, you will get V equals to 250,000. Craig needs to hire a cherry picker to allow him cut some overhanging branches in his backyard. Two hire companies have the same unit for hire but at different costs. Hire all will hire cherry picker. So now here you have two equations basically. One for hire all and one from rent from us. Okay? State with reason which variable is independent. I already told you cost is dependent, N is independent. Always. Alright? Sketch a graph. One graph, two lines. So if you look at this, the first one, hire all, is C1, isn't it? The one in red. So 40, line go up. No need scale, it's just a sketch. 60, line go up, rent from us. Just, it will intersect because both your gradients are different. So it will intersect at some point. Alright? Find out how much each company will charge for a job that requires this. So you just take this value, substitute into both these equations, you will find both these values. Alright, same goes to the second part. You take 5 hours, substitute into the equations and find each how much. Alright, Craig estimated the time to complete the task is 3.5 hours. Predict which company will be cost effective. Alright, so basically which company will be cost effective, which will be cheaper. So you substitute 3.5 inside the equation, 3.5 inside here. And then you see which one is cheaper and you're pretty much sorted. All right. Okay, so let's look at the past year question now. Wendy is subscribed to a mobile phone service which charges $66 for phone calls made for the total duration of 2 hours and 288. So this is exactly the same as the first question we did about the wedding dinner. Alright, so this one also they're giving you two coordinates, but it's your duty to put it in the right order. Linear model means I want my y equals to mx plus c. So put it in the right order. Your cost must always be y. So your first point will be 120,66. Why 120? They want it in minutes. So I change it hours to minutes. 120,66. 288,116.4. Students, many students got this wrong. Your cost must always take the position of y. Alright, so you got two coordinates, you can find the linear line. How much will Wendy have to pay if it's 3.75 hours? So you change your 3.75 hours into minutes and substitute into this equation. You will get your y equals to 97.5. She goes for a holiday. Does she still have to pay? Yes. Why? Because there is a fixed cost of $30. Then they ask you to sketch the line. Easy. Y equals to 0.3x plus 30. 30 line go up. That's it. No need scale, nothing. Just sketch. Okay? Number 2. For home use, now this whole question is very similar to the question that we did in 7.2 number 1. So I will leave this for you to do. State with reason which is independent and dependent. Same. Dependent should be your cost. Independent should be the kiloliters of water. Develop a relationship that is your y equals to mx plus c line. C plus 0.32k plus 6. Alright, reveals that he used 35 kiloliters. How much will he has to pay? You put 35 into this equation, you will get $17.2. Don't forget units. They move into a joint, this one, they decided to split the bill. So each of them paid $9.70. So your cost will be $9.70 times 2. Substitute into the equation and find the number of kiloliters they used. Same goes to this. They went for a vacation, they turned off the main tap, they didn't use anything. Do they still have to pay money? Of course, they have to pay $2 each. Alright, sketch the graph, very easy, 6, line go up, no need scale, C and K, label the line. Alright, so basically this is about it for 7.1 and 7.2. If there's anything you don't understand, please do ask me. Yeah? I will help you out. You must know all this. This is very, very important. So firstly, you must know, they give you 2 points, how to find your line. There's 2 ways I've already showed you. One using the formula, one using find the gradient, then substitute 1 point. From there on, the rest is quite direct. Alright? Okay, the next lesson we will continue with 7.3 and 7.4.